Yeah. Yeah. Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm trying to find out. It's coming through mic 10. Is over here. One of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This one.
It's time. And stand for the flag salute, please. Ready to begin. Good job. Okay, can we roll call, please, to establish a quorum?
President Klein.
Here.
Vice President Matsumoto. Present. Member Robles. Present.
Okay, excuse me. And student representative? Tara? It says Teresa, but I see it says Tara on your name tag.
Inspiration.
Oh, we'll get to that in a minute.
Hello, everyone. So, as we move into our showcase season, I'm excited to share an overview of what our students have been accomplishing across all grade levels this fall semester. The showcase is a time when every class comes together integrating projects like math, science, construction, manufacturing, and welding to highlight the hands-on learning and collaboration happening across our pathways. Our freshmen have been busy manufacturing their own toy products using construction and manufacturing equipment. Each student makes their own toy, but the design fits within a group theme. So for example, if their theme was space, they would build toys like rocket ships, astronauts, and the moon. They're also working with math to capture and analyze data as if they were actually selling their product. This ties into entrepreneurship because later on, they'll be doing a Shark Tank style presentation to pitch and sell their toys. Right now, about 75% of our sophomores have completed their 10-hour OSHA safety training, which is a huge accomplishment even by industry standards. Their integrated project focuses on the idea of how looking back helps us move forward. In construction, they're framing walls, and in biology, they're tracking their construction trials and process in a process similar to the scientific method. Math ties in through tessellation, which is a pattern that is repeated, and data tracking. The goal is to understand that sometimes projects, learning, and life aren't always a straight process. You might have to backtrack, reevaluate, and rethink your outcome to get the goal. Our juniors are focusing on storytelling this semester. Their theme is Stories by the Fire. Stories by the Fire. Students are creating artistic fire pits integrated with U.S. history content. Students will engage a living museum and dress up and act out roles in history. For example, they would dress up as a musician, a chemist, and welder, and explain and design an inspiration behind their fire pit. This project connects English, history, math, welding, science, and science, showing how creativity, storytelling, and technical skills can all come together. They're also building portfolios to showcase their work and process. For our seniors, the integrated project connects to our advanced classes, advanced welding, advanced construction, and advanced manufacturing. Each senior is showcasing a skill or a project that they've been developing through this semester. For example, I've been working on my Women in Welding piece, which focuses on inspiring more young women to join the industry. I've also been preparing for an upcoming competition, so I'll be highlighting that during my showcase. Something else we're really excited about is our Titan Bowl. It's an event where all grade levels come together and compete in mixed teams. It's a great way to build school spirit and help our campus feel more like a traditional high school experience. Leadership and staff have been working hard to make students' lives stronger and more connected this year, and everyone is looking forward to it. Overall, it's been a really strong fall semester, and we're excited to share our students have been building, creating, and learning at Showcase. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we'll get to inspirational reading. Jen.
Good afternoon. This past week, the state released new student test scores, and we have every reason to be proud. We should be proud of the progress we see. Growth in literacy and math is not accidental. It's the result of intentional strategies, strong teaching, and collaboration between schools, districts, and our county office. These results reflect more than academic achievement. They show what's possible when we believe in every student's potential and refuse to accept limits on their success. And while there is still work ahead, the progress reminds us that our efforts are making a difference and that the future of Fresno County students is bright.
Comment. Tying those two things together, our student report and the inspiration. I just have to say that your emphasis with the one class that's learning that everything doesn't always work out the way you want it to work out. We know that as adults. We've lived that. And what a beautiful lesson to learn. Even prior to taking state tests and ending up, doing even better than you ever thought you could. So I just had to comment about that notion that we all, sometimes we have the best laid plans, but it doesn't always work out the way we think it should. And oftentimes it works out even better. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Thank you. I was just intrigued by your toys program and that you were going to do a Shark Tank presentation. That sounds fun. Keep me in mind. I'm dropping
He's the shark.
Anyway, any other questions? Okay, now we'll move on to adoption of agenda. Chair will entertain a motion.
I move approval of the agenda.
Second.
We're moved and seconded. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
President Klein?
Yes.
Vice President Matsumoto?
Yes.
Member Robin?
Yes.
Chair will entertain a motion to adopt the minutes for September 18 meeting.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
President Klein?
Yes.
Vice President Matsumoto?
Yes.
Member Robin?
Yes.
Good. Now we get on to a couple of fun ones. Employee of the month. Jenny? See, that was quick.
Today we get to honor William Wilkerson, Extended Support Needs SDC teacher in Special Education Integrated Sites, as the Employee of the Month for October 2025. William has provided quality education for students with special needs for the past 25 years. He ensures students are successful by implementing high standards and expectations regardless of their individual needs. He creates customized educational materials to stimulate student learning in an effective way to fit the student's needs and levels of achievement. William builds rapport with parents through daily emails, books, pictures, videos, and personal calls regarding their child. William also utilizes community resources to enhance the knowledge of services available within the community. He connects through community work sites and volunteering opportunities, such as the Salvation Army Bell Ringer every year. He builds community connections by establishing positive outreach to provide successful experiences for students, preparing them for the future beyond school. For more than 10 years, William has mentored first-year teachers. He participates in peer assistant coaching and the induction program, providing feedback, support, and insight to any teacher in need. In addition to his normal duties, William has taken an extra step to become a Special Olympics event coordinator, hosting sporting events throughout the school year by providing all students with the ability to participate within their own ability. William, your expertise, dedication, and support change the lives of your students and their families in positive ways every day. We're so glad you're part of Team FCSS. Congratulations.
William, I don't know how often you've seen this practice, but I will say a few words of affirmation, then each board member will as well, and then we give you a chance to sort of accept the recognition. So that's what you're headed into for the next uncomfortable 10 minutes. Okay, my dear friend, first of all, I am grateful that you chose our profession 25 years ago, and I'm grateful every single day for what you do with our students. It moves me often to tears when I see you interact with our students. The love, the joy, the potential that you see in every one of our students, they feel it and then they get to experience all of their capabilities, and it's a beautiful thing to witness. So thank you for choosing our profession. It's very unusual that I speak about our Employee of the Month through the lens of our strategic plan. But our strategic plan has 5 themes, and you are doing the work of 3 of them really, really, really well. You're exemplifying them. First and foremost, student achievement, helping every student be extraordinary in their abilities. I thank you for that. All of the role that we think about with regard to our leadership in our profession. So the work that you've done to bring on board, to retain, to develop our new teachers, extraordinarily valuable to this profession. And beyond that, the work you do in community. I'm sure you are making sure our students have community connections. They're developing life skill experiences. It's really quite remarkable. So you are the face of our office in many interactions, and you do so in a manner that is exemplary, and we appreciate you, and we honor you for doing just that. So thank you for that. I would be remiss if I did not highlight something that's not in this write-up. And that happens often, that our Employees of the Month are so extraordinary that we can't capture all that they offer our office in 4 short paragraphs. And you are a prime example. We have people here from our union representation, both our CTA and our CSCA, and they are here because they want to honor you for the hard work you do representing our members at the table and outside of that role. Every day, you do a really beautiful job of reminding us who we serve. We never sit at the table and don't know very clearly and very specifically that we are all in this business for our students. And I thank you for that. And even though you represent the teachers, you never don't honor your paras and remind us that we can't do any of this without our CSCA reps. So for those of us that sit with you and work with you, we really are having a moment to pause here and celebrate you and just how extraordinary you are in all of those roles here in this office. So once again, on behalf of all of us, William, thank you very much.
William, thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, 25 years in this profession is a long time. And can I assume that these are some of your students here with you?
These are Maria students.
Okay.
We do 15 people, so they're in.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for bringing them, because I love seeing students as often as possible. And it's so important to me that we get to witness these beautiful people that you, William, and you influence on a daily basis. It's a labor of love, and there's a testament to you and your service by all the people that are here supporting you today, by your students. Something that I just love is the fact that you actually go above and beyond to work with Special Olympics, which we helped fund 2 of their projects this year. And I hope we get to attend some of the events. So please let us know when you have some students participating and when there are some events that we can go to. But thank you for all you do and all you represent for our kids, our schools, and our community. So thank you so much.
So my 3 thank yous that I wrote down were, thanking you for helping our most vulnerable students, for, being selfless in so many ways, for thinking outside the box in terms of connecting students with outside organizations, to really think beyond just their years in school, but really like they're going to be out in the world and experiencing real life situations, and how you can help them better navigate what's out there. And of course, thank you for mentoring future teachers, because it's in the times we live now, it's so hard to find people who really are selfless and care about students and want to do the job, not for the pay, obviously, because our teachers don't get paid nearly enough from what they deserve to be paid. but coaching them and guiding them and showing them what to expect and how to work through maybe difficult situations. Thank you for that, and you really are very deserving of this honor, so congratulations.
Basically, I'd like to echo what the ladies have said. I mean, you've been in special education for 25 years doing the Special Olympics. That makes you, Mr. Wilkinson, really a special guy. To do this for 25 years, and obviously you're young, and hopefully we can keep you at it for quite a bit longer. I don't know about another 25, but we'll try. But everybody has to agree, it just takes a special person. And anybody in the special ed, all people are special, but the people that oversee the special ed department, in my heart, are the way up there at the heap, and it's because it's a tough job, but you do it with dignity, and you're preparing them for life skills on the outside. I mean, what more could we ask? I mean, that's above and beyond, and I appreciate it, and I thank you for that.
That's it. That's the comfortable part. Now you get a chance
Now
to
you
tell
get a
anything you'd
Well, I
like
didn't
to
have anything
share.
written, but I always can say something.
Well, trying
I really don't even need it.
trying to rebuttal won't work.
Very few probably know an interesting story about being in this position. I was subbing 2 years in Parlier. I was an ag major at Fresno State. And I had heard that they were opening another ag position, so I was sticking around them. And so I was like, I just love the community and everything. And after 2 years of subbing, I just get a call out of the blue. And to this day, I still don't know who called, how they got my number, because I was going straight through Parlier, not through Fresno County. And so they said, hey, we have this position at West Fresno Middle School. Do you want to do it? And I was like, oh yeah, I can do anything. I'm just fresh out of college. And so that was my first experience into special ed, extreme eye-opening experience. And I tell you, I went into that position, and at the end of that year, because like Mike said, I got hired in February. So it really didn't dawn on me, like, why are you calling me in the middle of the year? Like, this can't be a perfect class. What's going on? But at the end of that year, I was like kind of pretty stressed out, and went to my program manager at that time and was like, yeah, I'm going to kind of go back to Parlier and go subbing until this position opens. They said, no, wait. We have a position in the adult transition program. And I met Pat Sims she was the principal over at Raymaker. And so I was like, well, okay, that sounds good, everything. And so that kind of started, I've been fortunate enough to be about 23 years in the adult transition program. After my first 5 years, I was on an emergency credential, really stressed out. And Karen Von Felton. If you know her, very special woman. But allowed me to, at the end of that 5 years, I was like just almost drowning. So she took me and fostered me, mentored me, showed me what to do, how to write those IEPs and everything, because you had to write them by hand. There was no computer. So, but it was because of her that I stayed in here. And it was because of her I feel the need to give back to the teachers, because I know the struggle is real, especially now, what our new teachers are facing. And so it was a privilege for the first time after 15 years to be asked to do the induction program. And to see my teachers, to see the teachers I worked with, how they grow. And I just think that allows me to have a hand in touching more students, as opposed just to the 230 students. And I have a little bit of that success, even though most of the teachers I've worked with were just phenomenal. And so I do want to say that, especially now, you know, you've kind of worked with me on kind of both ends of the table. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart of when I don't take anything personal, as in I want to make it better from when I left. And I think as you mature and as you go through your career, you want to be able to make that lasting effect. And you know, the students, you know, they're a joy. You know, I get the honest truth every day. And so, and I'd like to thank the special administration, Trina, Christine, Mike, our principal. You know, Mike he's been my principal for a long time. And so we both kind of have grown up into our positions, and the trust he affords me and is appreciated. And his open door policy, it really, for teachers to be successful, they need to have a principal that can have that team concept. And, you know, there's times that he just lets me vent, and, you know, and then I just go out the door and, you know, he'll look at me, do you want me to say anything? I'll be like, no, I don't want you to say anything. But I appreciate that. And Maria, she's been here for my day one. And she is most definitely, you want to surround yourself with people that push you. That woman pushes me. I wish I could bottle her energy. But I'm very grateful, you know, and it does mean a lot, Hector and Chris, to be here. And the pair is back there, and Tannen. But I highly appreciate it. Thank you. So.
Paras here?
Huh?
Do you have two paras?
No, they're at Buffalo.
Okay, okay. Maria's not right there.
I'll sit on the other side of
Okay,
you.
do you want to know?
Oh, okay,
my
yeah.
name?
Good.
You might everywhere.
Then I have students back there. I have Batam. You say hi to William.
Hey! Yay! Love it.
Jay.
Yay!
Yeah, that was fun.
Review.
Okay, where are we?
Oh, yes, we have, he's very tall.
Yeah, we're trying to.
What do you think?
It's up to,
Does that work? Okay.
There you go. Okay, 1, 2, and 3.
There you go. I think the kids are pretty excited.
okay. Now I'll move on to another fun one. Superintendent Superstar. Lisa?
It is our absolute honor to recognize Julian Espindola as our October Superintendent Superstar. Leon, an 8th grader at Pacific Union Elementary, is a hardworking student and athlete who demonstrates kindness, reliability, and a willingness to help both his peers and teachers. He never hesitates when asked to assist and is often the first to volunteer. His everyday character of doing the right thing, even when no one is looking, helps contribute to a positive learning environment for all. His integrity and excellent attitude make him not only a role model among his classmates, but a valued member of the school community. Julian's dedication is evident through his academic performance and athletic achievements. He constantly puts forth his best effort in the classroom, asking for support when needed and always helping others. Beyond school hours, his work ethic continues to shine. After completing his practices and games for Pacific Union teams, Julian immediately travels to Hanford for additional 2-hour soccer practices multiple times a week. Despite his demanding schedule, which often has him sitting down to a family dinner late in the evening after practice is done, he remains committed to completing his schoolwork on time. In addition, Julian participates in weekend soccer tournaments and is also giving of his time to be an active participant in a quinceañera. He balances all responsibilities with maturity and perseverance. Remarkably, Julian manages this rigorous schedule without complaint. He approaches each responsibility with determination and an understanding of what it takes to be successful. His resilience, discipline, and positive outlook ensure that he will continue to achieve remarkable things in the future. Without a doubt, Julian has the potential to succeed in any path he chooses. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Julian. We always, I think some of you in the audience know that we spend a few minutes together getting to know each other, and it's always such a joy for me. What I learned about Julian is that he is a member of a small but really special community at Pacific Union, and we're so happy that Superintendent Machado is here with us today, and that you have your mom and your dad and your abuela with us today, and you have two little brothers. You're trying to be a very good example too, and we're really excited about being able to pinpoint and really showcase your exceptional character. And I start with character because it's more than the fact that you're doing really well in school and getting really good grades. It has a lot to do with, as your superintendent said, growing good humans. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to highlight your successes here at the Office of the Fresno County Superintendent of Schools. I had shared with you earlier that, again, we have 206,000 students, and you are our October superstars. So keep up the good work. You're only in 8th grade. We're going to be celebrating you as you go on into very likely Washington Unified and excel there in soccer and in volleyball and continue to do really, really well academically and maybe even participate in folklorico. Just excited about all that this future holds for you. And again, I want to really thank you for being such an outstanding student and a good role model for others. Congratulations.
Well, Julian, I think when I was reading this, I had to go back and say, oh wait, he's only an 8th grader. Because I'm thinking like, oh, I'm gonna give him some advice for college and like discipline and all of that. But it's like, I can't believe you're only an 8th grader. But what I was planning on saying was, and I think it applies, that if your goal, whatever your goals are for college and what you want to do career-wise, it takes a lot of discipline. Sometimes, I tell, my brother that's around the same age, college is not always, you don't have to be the smartest person to get through college, but you do have to be disciplined. And that means, balancing schoolwork, balancing a job and all your extracurriculars to get through that, right? And you're doing such an amazing job at all of that. And you're so young. Is that your brother? Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is you have your little brother looking up to you, right? He's gonna follow in the footsteps. I'm the oldest, and I didn't have a lot of guidance going through college, and I didn't really have, my parents didn't know much about how to help me apply for scholarships or get to college or what I was doing. And so I learned all of that by myself, but it was amazing to see how my siblings didn't have to do that. They didn't have to struggle the way that I struggled because I was able to help them, right? And even in ways that I didn't think I did, in just inspiring them to do things or to seek higher education, or go into certain fields of work, you really are an inspiration, and I hope you take that to heart and you continue doing what you're doing. Mom and Dad, you're doing an amazing job, and it's not easy, and I commend you for all the work that you're doing and the time you spent in supporting your child in their extracurriculars. I know it takes a lot of time and money, and it's an investment, it really is. I think as parents with our children, we're always trying to do what's best for them, and knowing that our sacrifices are worth it, and investing really in them and their future. So thank you so much for doing that, and congratulations, you deserve it.
Some of the things that stood out to me were your work ethic, which she's talking about discipline, and discipline requires work, and the work ethic, again, you don't have to be the smartest, but if you work the hardest, you will accomplish whatever it is that you want to do. So, kudos to you. Soccer, what a great sport. And I imagine because of the skill that soccer requires, you're extremely coordinated, and I'll bet you're the star of the quinceanera. Because I've been to a lot of quinceaneras, and you can tell who's the coordinated, which guys are the coordinated ones and which guys aren't. But thank you for being such an amazing human being and a role model for your peers. And your superintendent's here, so happy to see her here, and your grandmother too, because it takes all of us to help support our students. And I'm sure you're grateful for their support, but they wouldn't do it if they didn't believe in you. And your little brothers, because they are like the best. They're beautiful young human beings. And I just want to thank Mom and Dad as well as Abuela, because he couldn't do these things without you and your support. And we look forward to seeing how things go for you in high school and beyond. So keep in touch with us.
Yeah, Julian, I'm reading through this description of your bio so far in life. You're only in 8th grade, but the thing that jumps out to me is two things. I have no problem focusing on hard work, and I have no problem in your time management. Those two things are going to take you farther than you'll ever think, because you'll see the CEOs and founders of companies throughout the country and the world were not always valedictorians. They were the ones who focused, worked hard, and managed their time right. Learn that early and keep it up, you'll go far. Thank you.
Now's your opportunity to step up to the lectern, and Superintendent Machado, if you'd like to join him. And you're welcome to say a word or two before he speaks.
Thank you for this opportunity to be able to acknowledge Julian. I have a lot of great students at our school, but like you said, he's in 8th grade and he stands out, and his teachers, his peers, he's a good student, and he's just has good character. He's there for the other kids. He's the first one to volunteer to help. Somebody needs help, and he's involved with sports. And I'm just really proud, and I'm glad that I could be here today with him, and he will serve an example. He has his brothers here. He also has sisters that at our school too. They're in school right now. So there's a lot of kids that look up to him, not just in his family, but throughout school as well. So again, I'm just happy to be here, and I'd love for him to say a few words.
Thank you for recognizing me today. I am honored that I was chosen to be here. I would like to thank my family for always pushing me to be my absolute best. especially my dad who has shown me how to work hard and the importance of being a good person. I appreciate all of my teachers, Mr. Alvarado, Ms. Janet, Ms. Peterson, Ms. Keithley, and Ms. Machado for encouraging me to do my best and supporting me. I hope I continue to make everyone proud.
Good kid.
We're very happy that John can
Yeah, we'll practice a bit.
Picture, first media shared ever. A certificate, and there's $500.
Balance here. Picture in the picture.
So fast. I'm not that one. The other. You know you get one.
Thanks, thanks, great.
What's the first in a long time is groovy. So let's move on to presentation annual board project recipient, Adams Community School Facility Wellness and Resource Center. And who is going to present, talk about that?
You are.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll have to get to this. I looked over this. Oh, it's your project. Yeah.
Thank you. And I believe Jennifer is here, Jennifer Perez, who's our the child welfare and attendance specialist at Adams Elementary. Thank you so much for being here. Were they told to say a few words or anything? I wasn't sure.
You're welcome to. Would you like to say something?
I think it'd be great to share about what this money is going for, because when I was advocating for this money, I was like, this is something that's very important, and I think our community really needs it to support our families that can't access basic needs, right? And so can you share a little bit about how this money is going to be utilized?
Well, first, we want to say thank you to the Fresno County Board of Education for your commitment and, and your help with this. So we did want to say thank you. And our students in that area are very, need a lot of resources, and the school itself has a, washer and dryer where we help the students, do their laundry there at the school because they don't have those basic, things that they can have at home. So that's where some of the money is going to go towards, is just to help them get to school and be comfortable while they're learning, and it helps them. It helps them in that sense, and then they feel good, so.
Yes, and to follow up on that, if you take a look at our Adams community, you will see that is among the highest poverty rate. Therefore, even just getting down to those basic essential needs, it's a struggle for them, for our families. And it all goes back to them showing up to school, because if they are having a hard time getting those basic needs, it affects them not only in educational, but also on a social and emotional level. And therefore, for this, it's going to be a huge help to restock our resource center, because a lot of people overlook that even just those basic essentials can make a huge difference in our families. Therefore, Adams Elementary, we really just thank you all. Our Adams community, we thank all of you, because it's going to be a huge difference for us. Like I said, we struggle a lot, but we do with what we have, and this is just going to be a huge help. So thank you, everybody, for this.
And so the dollars are going to their community school, family wellness and resource center. I think as a student who also was a high needs student, going to school where sometimes I knew my parents didn't have extra money for some of the basic things for school. It means a lot to invest in our students and be able to give them just pride in some of the smallest things, just in maybe feeling like I have a new pair of socks or anything that we maybe take for granted at home that we have extra of or our kids may not need. There are some kids that think about that every single day. And they go to school, maybe embarrassed, maybe hoping that someone out there will help them. But I really hope that this is just a small token and that others will also support and that hopefully will generate more interest in donating to the center. Because this is only a little bit that maybe will get through a few months, but the school needs more help. So hopefully anyone that's out there that can help contribute, I really hope they do. But it's such an honor to be able to support you guys, and please let me know if I could support in any other way. So thank you so much. I take up pictures. Yes.
Oh, you want us to come down? All right.
Oh, you want to?
Okay.
You two in the center. And then the board. Yes.
I'd like to ask, how many students are at Adams? So this is directly touching 600 out of those 700. Is that what you're saying? We're sitting here?
Yes. Yeah, we have a lot of that even though they're just in Adams, they also have siblings. So they extend all the way to the middle school in Jackson. So we also help those.
It's yeah, and it's I love, especially Adams, it's a small school, and so it's what's good about it is you can measure success because it's a small school. Well, I'd be interested in if the absentee rate's going down, if this is kind of working. I mean, obviously it's a humanitarian thing, and so we need to do it. But I would think it has a potential to be measured. That's what I was bringing up. So if we can measure it, and it comes out, I'm sure, in a positive way, that would be, for this relatively small amount of money, that can show how beneficial this really is. And so in other words, I don't want to lose the opportunity to be able to measure this. And we can from now on simply at absentee rates. Yeah, have school test scores, that's down the road. You can't do anything unless they're out of school. So if they could get there, I think, and that's really what board projects are about, is to be a catalyst for funds that are a good idea, which this is, to get the ball rolling and let other things happen and help promote other things happen. But if we could measure that success, that'd be a big help. So keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have our community schools coordinator, Ms. Belmonte, she's going to be here with us. But she is one of our main points when it comes to resources, and she works with us here. So all three of us, that's how we get together and people who are.
Yeah, go ahead.
So just to be clear, Adams is in the Hotel Row area, is that correct? Just west of Highway 99 at Fresno Unified School. So, I know a lot of your students are unhoused or in temporary housing, if that at best. I know that we've done prior work with Live Again Fresno, which also supports your community. But, just for context for everybody else in the room, if you don't know where Adams is, not too far from here, actually, just a few miles to the northwest. Yeah, thank you.
Then if I may add on, because it kind of goes hand in hand Recently, we just learned about an apartment complex that is about to close. And so a lot of our families are going to go on the house. So that's something that we're also looking at. It just happens. So little things like that are constantly happening.
Yeah.
That this thing is what helps us out a lot.
And as was outlined before with our special ed, you never know where life turns you. And that goes for programs too. And so let's just keep this up. And if somehow you can get back to the superintendent on how your attendance rate is, I'm really interested in that. Just because I have a feeling this will help a lot. So thank you. Okay, now we'll move on to a recess. And so we'll adjourn until 2:25. Okay, we'll reconvene. Committee of
Well, or. Sorry, I'm out of the way.
Public may address the board pursuant to established procedures. No action shall be taken pursuant to California Code Section 54954.3. Individual speakers will be allowed 3 minutes to address the County Board of Education as per board bylaw 9323. Have not received any requests for speaking, and that's what we have to go through. Public hearing, there are no public hearings. Therefore, we'll get on to reports, information, and discussion. Educational intervention, Dr. Greenwell.
Thank you very much, President Clyde, Vice President Matsumoto, members of the board, Superintendent Kofer. I'm here to report on the quarterly Williams for our Williams lawsuit compliance for our district, for our actual district here at Fresno County. For this first quarter of July 1 through September 30th, we had no complaints. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Dr. Greenlaw, what a boring report.
You know what, I tell you, nothing very exciting, and I know it's made more exciting here. It used to be Dr. Enns, but she has left and she's moved on to Madera to work with Altic, and you get me this time, so nonetheless, she was more fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we may lose one Dr. Enns, but hopefully we gain 95 others. The percentage is going our way. Okay, no action on that. Legal services, Mr. Parkin?
Yes, before the board are new and amended board policies as part of our annual board policy updates. Before you for a first read. If you have any questions right now, I'm happy to answer them. Or if you have questions between now and the next board meeting, reach out to me and we can talk.
And you're looking at me because I was the one that said, all those pages. But all I want to say is I'm really happy to see some of the new policies. We know that it was a requirement to have mobile device or policy on mobile devices, but I thought it was interesting, the alcohol, no drugs or alcohol on premises unless the superintendent approves. So if you're going to serve wine at a function, you got to let the board or let the superintendent. Yeah. I know. I just thought that was interesting.
Why would they even put that? Why would they want to cross that line? I don't know.
It needs to be there. The one policy that I thought had an interesting concept was 5141.5 on mental health, where it says that 40% of the classified employees need to receive training. And I just thought, 40%, where did that number come from? Is that straight from the legislature? Yep. That 4 out of 10 is a good number, huh? I don't know, it just seems, I'd love to have 100% trained, but I don't know that we want to put that in the policy if it's not required, but I know it takes time, and maybe not 100, maybe 100% aren't the right people, includes people that don't need it, but I don't know, I just thought that was fascinating. Anyhow, I don't have really any other questions or comments.
Yeah, most of the changes in the red lines come straight from the law.
Yeah.
There are some wording changes that are just different ways to word it that seem a little more clear, so.
Actually, now I take that back. On revision policy 3580, which has to do with records for the superintendent board, employees need to have training about cybersecurity. And I was wondering if the board members might get the same training, because if anything, we might because we don't have access to the typical organizational things, we might be the most vulnerable to clicking on something we shouldn't be clicking on or whatever. But that doesn't have to be in the policy. I'm just expressing my opinion.
Well, you're welcome to anything at all that we're doing, and I know the onus is on us to explain to you. I'm thinking that our cyber training happens in annual notifications. Mm-hmm. So there is an expressed time every single year that we try to ensure that our staff has access to those trainings and, are accountable for having completed them. So we can start to include you. I'm actually surprised that you're not, because you're sort of on payroll, right? You're on payroll, so I'm surprised that you're not. not employees, that's, okay, even though they, okay. Well, we can figure out a way to at least invite you to that training. And by the way, I think that particular training is done with Keenan, so it's very accessible. We can actually email it to you on Monday, yes.
Yeah, well, we would be exposed because if somebody could hack us and they could go right in to anything unbeknownst to us until too late.
Yeah, great.
Especially when it comes to legal stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, thank you.
Great.
Okay, now we'll move on to action items. Charter schools, Dr. Hunt.
Good afternoon, President Clyde, trustees, Superintendent Kofer, and Cabinet. Item J1 is the board's consideration of a material revision to the Big Picture Educational Academy charter petition for the term July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2027. The material revision submitted by Superintendent Diana Gonzalez, who's with us today, was received by the Charter Schools Department on August 22nd, 2025. Each member of the county board has received a copy of the proposed revision, and a public hearing was held before the county board here September 18th, 2025. Additionally, each member of the county board has received a copy of the charter committee report from the review of the material revision, and that went live October 1st as required. Today, Big Picture is seeking your approval of this revision. Just as a review, the material revision requests 3 key updates to the charter and MOU. First, to expand Big Picture operations to 2 additional locations, 2841 Hillary Street and 2115 Kern Street, Suite 5, both here downtown. Second, to update element K of the charter petition by replacing all references to the term district with LEA. And as you recall, that was language in their renewal petition that was related to their retirement program administration. And then third, as standard with all material revisions, to incorporate other revisions requested that reflect changes in applicable laws and regulations since the charter's last renewal. The first site, the 2841 Hillary site, will serve as an additional location for Big Picture's adult program. This expansion allows them to offer their adult program in the day time hours versus being limited to after 4:30 or 5 when their elementary and high school students go home. The second site, 2115 Kern Street, will function as Big Picture's central office. This will bring their LEA staff, their superintendent, executive director, and that level of staff off of the campuses into a central office. Currently, they're split between the two existing campuses. The Charter Schools Committee conducted comprehensive site visits on both July 7th and September 16th as part of the review process. The review focused on ADA compliance, hazardous materials and environmental safety, zoning and occupancy regulations, fiscal considerations, and student accessibility and space utilization plans. And so that team consisted of Dr. Greenlaw, myself, Jeff Becker, our Executive Director of Facilities, and then Daniel Soto, our SELPA Compliance Officer, to just get it for the student access considerations. Following these visits, facilities and fiscal reviews prompted follow-up discussions with the petitioner. All identified concerns were addressed satisfactorily. However, one item requiring attention was identified. The material submitted included an Asbestos Hazard Emergency Response Act, AHERA, is the acronym, report dated 2013, which does not meet current AHERA requirements for re-inspections every 3 years and maintenance inspections every 6 months. And that conversation was elevated by Jeff Becker. And so based on this review, supporting documentation,
and on-site evaluations, the Charter Schools Committee recommends approval of the material revision with one condition, that Big Picture BPA must contract with a qualified environmental professional to prepare a HERA compliant reports for both the Tulare Street and Kern Street sites. And these reports must be submitted to FCSS and to the County Superintendent's Office by June 30th, 2026, and then updated thereafter as required, as a condition of continued approved occupancy and compliance with state and federal building regulations. Any questions?
Is that the compliance, is that the responsibility of Big Picture? Is that something that those that are the property owners are supposed to be?
So that's a great question. My thought is it's the property owner's responsibility, but the other occupants in that office might not be requiring that of them. But as Big Picture is moving into those facilities, it would be a requirement of them.
And these are requirements because they're educational facilities?
These are requirements because it's both state and federal asbestos laws.
But what I'm trying to figure out is why the other tenants wouldn't fall under the same need. Like if it's the property owner who needs to ensure that these are followed or they need to implement these guidelines, then why is that not required? Why wouldn't that be required for other tenants?
That is a great question that I don't have the capacity to answer, and Jeff Becker is here.
It might be that they just didn't question it upon signing their contracts.
Were the other occupants education?
Or maybe they've been.
Okay, well, there's the difference
time.
right there, is that educations fall under a whole bunch of different rules. Try and do some hospital work. I mean, you see a ton of new regs come in. So I think the same thing, and so it's just something that I guess Big Picture and their owner of where they want to move to are going to have to work that out.
So then what we're saying is we're just requiring that to be done before we can fully approve or say that it's a safe place for them to.
So to say that what we're saying is that it's a requirement, not a condition of approval like today, but it's something that needs to be put in place. So once asbestos has been removed from an area, as Jeff Becker explained to me, then every 3 years there's a recertification that it's safe, with follow-up inspections by a asbestos expert.
Those can be very costly. And is there any indication from Big Picture maybe that they would say, well, actually it's going to cost us more to fix this issue than to sign a lease with you? And then we're potentially not going to move into this space? Is there any indication of that?
No, there's been no indication, asbestos has been cleared from the area. It was just a recertification that should have happened in 2016, and then again in 2019, that for whatever reason, the leasing building didn't have on file.
So it's like a test that they do just to make sure it's still asbestos free.
It's a recertification.
I don't see this hindering us. It's just something that we all agreed on with the committee that we do need to get up to speed. And this gives us the documentation to make sure that the people that we're leasing from actually do stay up to date.
It's like saying we need to have this because of.
Yeah, like moving into an apartment for the first time, something hasn't been kept up to code for years. We needed this document.
But there's a separate set of codes for a school versus office building.
That's kind of what I've
Yeah,
figured,
and
but-
so that's why it's probably was allowed to slide.
Yeah.
And then when the school decided to do it, then that's a whole new set of rules, so. No, we get it. As long as it's absent asbestos, and they can certify it. Yeah, it's part of the process, and every 3 years, yeah.
Those were all my questions.
Any other questions? Okay, it's an action item, so Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
President Klein?
Yes.
Vice President Matsumoto?
Yes.
Member Robles?
Yes.
Okay, next one is consider approval of amendment number 1 to MOU with Big Picture Academy.
So based on the county board's approval of action item J1, action item J2 is the approval of the board's consideration of approval of an amendment to the memorandum of understanding between the county board and Big Picture Educational Academy. This amendment is necessary to formally adopt the changes set forth in the material revisions.
Any discussion? Chair will entertain a motion.
I move approval of the amendment to the memorandum of understanding.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
President Klein?
Yes.
Vice President Matsumoto?
Yes.
Member Robles?
Yes.
Done deal.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Now we'll move on to the Tulare County apportionment for Forest Reserve money.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Klein. Good afternoon. Board members, seeking approval of the 2024-25 Forest Reserve receipts for Tulare County. This only affects one school district in Fresno County, and it's Kings Canyon Unified. They get a little over $11,000 from Tulare County for the Forest Reserve Fund. And this is something that's brought every year by Tulare County to us.
I think that's in my district too, isn't it? That Lapo, Cutler, Rossi, Kings Canyon.
Yeah, could be.
Okay. Any discussion? Chair will entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
President Klein?
Yes.
Vice President Matsumoto?
Yes.
Member Robles?
Yes.
Okay, now we'll move on to number 4, County Board of Ed, Resolution 2025-38 regarding the actual appropriations limit for 24-25 and the estimated appropriation for 25-26 fiscal year.
Thank you again. Seeking approval and adoption of the 2024-2025 actual appropriations limit and the 25-26 estimated appropriations limit. If you look at the documentation, the estimate for 24-25 or the actual, for 24-25 are $46,734,861.39, and the estimate for 25-26 is $44,044,333.83. This is a calculation that's generated by the state SAC software. It's a report that accumulates all of the data that's necessary for this and actually calculates this for us. Years ago, we used to have to do this by hand. Thank goodness we don't have to do that anymore. So it basically spits out the number when the report is complete.
Any reason for the difference? The drop?
Just the fact that there's not, because it's our initial budget, we don't have all the full carryover in there, so that number will go back up to probably somewhere similar to where it is for last year, once we budget the full carryover amount and distribute those expenditures.
So it's a different picture. One's end of year and one's start of year.
Correct.
And that's the reason. Okay. Okay, any other questions? It's an action item. Entertain a motion.
I move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
President Klein?
Yes.
Vice President Matsumoto?
Yes.
Member Robles?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to administrative considered adoption of resolution number 2025-34, recognizing November 2025 as Native American Heritage Month.
Yes. The National Native American Heritage Month is observed in November each year to celebrate the rich and diverse cultures, traditions, languages, histories, and contributions of Native American, American Indian, Alaska Native, and Indigenous peoples in the United States. And we recognize that recognizing these caretakers of these lands whose communities have contributed greatly to our society in arts, agriculture, environment, science, education, governance, and beyond, that it's the appropriate thing to do for us to engage our students and staff in honoring the cultures. So we are inviting the County Board of Education to join the superintendent in adopting this resolution honoring November 2025 as National Native American Heritage Month.
Okay, Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
President Clyde?
Yes.
Vice President Masumoto?
Yes.
Member Robles?
Yes.
Okay, next, number 6, resolution number 2025-37, recognizing November 7th, 3 through 7/25 as School Psychology Awareness Week.
Children and youth learn best when they are healthy, supported, and receive an education that enables them to thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. We know that schools can more effectively ensure that all students are able to learn when they meet the needs of the whole child and provide integrated, multi-tiered supports. I don't need to tell you that we have really invested heavily in a full continuum of care for our students, most notably with our All for Youth work, with our clinical supports, and our school psychologists are the backbone of that important work. So knowing how important all of that is, the county superintendent invites the board to join me in acknowledging this resolution.
Any discussion? If not, Chair will entertain a motion.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
President Clyde?
Yes.
Vice President Masumoto?
Yes.
Member Robles?
Yes.
Okay, adoption resolution 2025-35, recognized November 2025 as Sikh American Awareness and Appreciation Month.
Let's see. There are high rates of Sikh American students that are bullied during their K-12 school experiences, and we recognize that education about the culture can help prevent bullying and may help prevent tragedies. So we want to recognize first and foremost the awareness and appreciation of this particular cultural group, and secondarily, in the next resolution, we will be acknowledging an anti-bullying commitment to this group as well. So at this time, I'd like to invite the board to join me in recognizing Sikh American Awareness and Appreciation Month in the month of November.
Any discussion? Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
President Clyde?
Yes.
Vice President Masumoto?
Yes.
Member Robles?
Yes.
Okay, resolution number 2025-36, recognized November as Anti-Bullying Towards Sikh Americans Month.
And to the point I just meant a few minutes ago with regard to anti-bullying, we recognize that designating the observance of an anti-bullying toward our Sikh Americans in concurrent with appreciating their culture is an appropriate activity to encourage schools to learn more about prevention and a peaceful nature of the Sikh American culture. We recognize that schools can consider the use of this opportunity to, again, celebrate and support our fellow students and citizens in our communities. So the administration recommends that the board join me in recognizing November 2025 as Anti-Bullying Towards Sikh Americans Month, thereby encouraging districts in Fresno County to plan appropriate activities.
Any discussion?
I move approval.
Second.
Roll call, please.
President Clyde?
Yes.
Vice President Masumoto?
Yes.
Member Robles?
Yes.
Okay, now we'll move into closed session, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation or significant exposure to litigation, liability claim, potential case. That's it. And from closed session, and during closed session, the board took action to deny the government claim submitted by Ledyard Butler by unanimous vote. That's it. Or do we have to vote out? We have to vote in public again. Okay. Okay. Now we'll move on to a discussion item. And I brought this up to put on the agenda about the charter committee itself. And I kind of think that it's time we rethought this, having board members on the FCOE charter committee itself, and it kind of puts us in a place that I know I don't really want to be, and I think that it's better that we keep it at arm's length, which is what most counties do. As far as board members' involvement on the charter committee, and they don't even have board member involvement on charter committee. And that way we basically will just hear our charter committee's report and then hear the public input, deliberate, and vote. Because I feel that however your body language is, whether you say yes or no or do anything in the committees, it'll be used against you. And I think it's just a wiser idea that we keep it at arm's length, and I'd like to change our policy of being involved in the charter committee review staff on this thing because of appearances. And that's what I wanted to bring up.
So is there a way that we could be kept in the loop of what the committee does, like in terms of reporting to us, like about maybe they do the site visits or things like that? Would we not be part at all of the process or knowing anything until the end?
I think that's an individual thing. If you feel you want to go do a site visit, you can do a site visit. You can just talk to Dr. Hunt or Dr. Kofer or whatever, and there's no reason why we can't do a guided walk on and see what you think, to see if you notice anything. And you could always, as a board committee, just ask for a progress report on it. We could do that at any time. We could do both. But that's what I'm encouraging, is that we kind of keep it at that level.
And I agree. I think with our role on the board and participating in even the process of discussing certain things about charter schools can get a little difficult. I think we're always trying to be careful that we're not like necessarily influencing a decision or anything like that. And I think that would help get rid of some of that as well. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I just think it's a safer thing for all of us. And I'm sure Jason would totally agree with her. Because it puts the board in a spot. And even body language can be interpreted wrong. I mean, if you say, gee, I like the way you're doing that, then they're going to use it against you on appeal if you turn around and vote against it. See what I mean? So you just got to, I think it's just better that we just.
I think the only thing would be for me is sometimes when there might be some situations where there are potential, I don't know, if there are some findings that can be detrimental to whether a school is staying open or not, I think sometimes getting that information as well, if you are maybe the representative of the area, would help us if we wanted to inquire about it and get more information, because otherwise we really wouldn't know till towards the end of the process. So I don't know if like that's just at the discretion of committee.
I don't know if it'd be up to discretion. It's up to your discretion. If you feel I have heard some questions about this or that, and you talk to Dr. Hunt or Dr. Kofer.
But if we don't get we're not involved in that at all, right? Because, for example, if we are part of the committee, we are able to identify some of those red flags earlier on, and then we're like, oh, okay, this could potentially be this. I should ask certain questions before it gets to the board. But if we're not involved in that process, there's no reason for us to think that there's anything going on or that we should inquire more. Or that it would just be when they get here, and then I don't know.
I understand your point. Yeah. What I've done in the past, I just asked Dr. Hunt. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the same thing. With the county superintendent's approval, you can reach out to Dr. Hunt and get information from him without being involved directly with the committee. And then also, I know this past year, we've started to have Dr. Hunt come in and do an annual report for each of the charters that the county board authorizes. So
So it would be like, we would know well in advance what schools are coming up for renewal, and then if there happen to be in our area, we could inquire then with the permission of our superintendent, if we have questions specifically.
Correct.
Okay.
And you could even do it in open session when he comes up and gives you a presentation like he's been doing annually now, which is really good. This is kind of another reason that we don't really need to go to these meetings, because he comes. That's when you can start the dialogue as a sitting board to him. And I just think we're protected better that way.
I agree.
I'm just going to jump in here, not ever having sat on the charter committee or attended even any of the committee's meetings. To me, there's also a bigger question about what this board wants to do with regard to committees. I understand from some of the conferences I've been to lately, a number of counties have different types of committees that they have created. And I'm not advocating for any of them. I'm just saying I am interested in learning more about what some of the other counties are doing. Even talking about the reporting sessions. I know that some of the counties have their full calendar for the year worked out of what's happening when, which I know you all have, but I don't have it. When are we reporting on this? When is this happening? That kind of thing. So I would just like to kind of share the notion that I would like us to maybe do a little more research, maybe some study sessions on what other county boards are doing, so that we may consider other committees or other organizational structures or procedures that might be beneficial to us that we can learn from others.
Well, I think it's a good idea, and kind of rethink all of our committees, especially for our January meeting when we assign people.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
I think that.
So I'm happy to at least make some inquiries with some of the counties that have reported at some of the conferences to try to obtain, a list of their committees and what the functions of those committees are. So that maybe, is it December or is it January we do that? We do it in December, isn't it?
Is it December?
December. So I'm not sure, since this is October, that we really would have a
That's a
thorough
reorganizational
study
meeting in
session,
September,
before that.
Well, the actual assignment of committee assignments has kind of varied. Sometimes it's done at the organizational meeting, sometimes it's done in January.
He's right.
But
So maybe, it might be plausible that we could have, do a little research, compile information, maybe even have a Zoom or something with board chairs of other counties to do a little learning about what might be appropriate for us.
That's valid.
As long as I've been on the board, we haven't examined any of those things.
We've been using the same committees that when I started.
Well,
okay. So I think, we got to rethink this.
I agree. I agree. I'm happy to do some of that homework, but if any of you, also want to contact colleagues, Dr. Kofer in particular.
Sure.
And actually,
I think it would behoove us to do a little homework. And
What committees do we currently have?
What committees?
Charter, facilities.
Projects.
Board project, and then I think the CTE advisory.
There's a representative that sits on that.
so we're not overly loaded on committees, but maybe there's something that we should add, one or two, or get rid of one or two. Facilities, we bring everything to the board. I've been on that forever. And everything that we talk about we just bring to the board, discuss. So I don't know if that's necessary or not, because we're not really moving a lot of facilities like a lot of school districts are. So I don't know, that's stuff that I think it's.
It's like I reported last meeting, Placer has a legislative committee.
Yeah.
And they work together with the superintendent to come up with a joint agenda of what legislation they want to support together. That's just one example.
That's a good idea.
Because I don't think we've ever done that. Yeah. So I'd be happy to start making inquiries and researching through the conference materials that I had. But
I'll do the same.
Okay.
I put it on my to-do list.
Thanks.
Very good. Okay, we'll move on to trustee activities, travel requests. By anybody? None heard?
Can I ask Angela? We've approved already my delegate assembly travel for early December. Right, okay.
Just waiting for the housing, girl. That's what happened.
I know that you've been working on
Oh,
it.
it's done.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting on that before I send it to you because that's the last piece and that's why I don't like housing, girl, but I'm waiting. But you're all done.
Thanks. Okay.
Okay, then we'll move on to travel expenses and reimbursements. You can see as attached. And any discussion? Sure. I'm wondering why, Member Robles, how come you're zero?
I just didn't want to claim anything. It's just my preference.
Well, no law says you have to.
Yeah.
I would just,
I mean, I do have a busy schedule, so sometimes for me it's more trouble than it is what I'm getting out of it. So.
Okay. Yeah, there are times when I go to different things. I say I don't bother.
Right.
I just do the school board visit meetings and that's it.
Yeah, I don't think, and most of like the things in my district, I represent Fresno, and it's very close, so nothing is really out in the rules or way for me. So.
Well, I was thinking if there's zero, I mean, you must be walking here. Therefore, there's some shoes. I would need some shoes.
City Hall. So really,
I'm just teasing.
Very, very short. Not even probably 2 miles, less than 2 miles. So, yeah.
Okay, well, I think
Okay, so maybe a pair of flip flops. Is that it? Approval of the travel expense reimbursements.
Any seconds?
She just seconded.
Okay. Roll call, please.
President Clyde?
Yes.
Vice President Matsumoto?
Yes.
Member Robles?
Yes.
Receipt of correspondence by anybody? Any comments by board members?
I have one thing to report, and that is that I was asked by the incoming president of CSBA to serve on the CSBA Legislative Action Committee for 2026.
That might be the nucleus for
We'll
a
see.
committee assignment for here.
We'll see. I hear it's a lot of reading. It's 5 meetings, some in person and some on Zoom.
Does that mean Sacramento? Yep.
As far as I think 2 or 3 of them are in Sacramento. Anyhow, so I just wanted to report that.
That's time and you'll get reimbursed.
They reimburse travel for this. I guess I'm speaking too loudly. Yeah, sorry.
I think it might be
Sitting
me.
between, maybe it's because it's me.
Anything else?
I hope you all can attend the trustees association meeting next week because it's our team that's presenting. It's at Sanger West, the new Kennedy Middle School / Sanger West High School.
Tuesday night?
Tuesday night.
Could you send me that again? Okay, thanks. Okay. No other comments? I don't have them either. So we'll move on to superintendent's report.
Well, I have a lot of wonderful stuff to share with you. First and foremost, we are wearing purple today because Diane was recognized yesterday as a top 10. Yes. So we're very proud and pleased. And on a personal note, Diane, you're exceptional. And we are so thrilled. We were, and I say we collectively, we had a table of support, but we also had a full table from Kerman Unified. And then I happened to be standing in front of Diane with 4 of her fellow teachers from her back in her history, so to speak, showed up out of nowhere, having purchased individual tickets to celebrate her and came up to the front to celebrate and have a moment with her. So it was a very, very special day for Diana, by extension, us. So once again, congratulations, Dr. Lira.
Thank you.
Very proud of you. And I realized that we found out this very exciting next news 10 whole days ago, and we've been trying to figure out what our normal protocol is for getting the word out. But I don't know if you're aware, we won yet another Golden Bell Award this year. Did you not know that until this moment? Darn. We found out about 7 or 8 work days ago, and we literally were like, well, now we're at a 4-peat. 4 years in a row, we have won a Golden Bell Award, and we were trying to figure out what's our normal protocol for sharing the good news among our staff. This particular year, you know our practice, we submit 3 at minimum. We now understand the protocols and the elements that make a good and competitive application. So we submitted 3 different programs, all award-worthy in my opinion. Our Early Care and Education Department won. And so we will be there to celebrate yet again in I believe we're going to Sacramento this year. Yes, so stay tuned. Those of you that can join us, there will be yet another moment of pride for Fresno County's Office of Education. I will cut short the balance of my comments, except that I do want to underscore the success of our students' academic performance in the CASP scores. And I want to start by again recognizing that I'm wearing purple right now. It's not my color, but I'm wearing purple today, and I realize there are a few of us up here that are doing so to help bring awareness to the fact that the County of Fresno has the infamous designation of having the highest domestic violence reporting in the entire state of California. And as I share that information as kind of an opening, I want to say that in Fresno County, our student profile is different than other students across the state of California. In Fresno County, we have students who face far more obstacles to learning than many of their peers. In California, about 32% of our students live in poverty, despite the region's success, status as the nation's leading agricultural producers. 1 in 4 of our students experience food insecurity. Access to health care is also more limited. We have challenges in housing. I mentioned the domestic violence. And while we recognize that being a dual language learner is a superpower, initially language barriers are yet another challenge for our students to overcome. And when it comes to actually recognizing opportunities in the classroom. And so the fact that our students on average struggle with so many barriers to their success, our success this year is really statistically substantial. And I want to take a moment to talk about that for a second. Fresno County students outpace the state in academic growth for both English language arts and mathematics. Essentially, our students were considered advanced or proficient, increased in the state by 1.7%, but our students in 3rd grade alone rose by 3%. That's growth, and that's important. We again want to recognize that we are investing heavily. Our teachers, our schools are working very, very hard, and our students are showing that they are growing towards these levels of accomplishment. And we show growth in ELA as well as in math. I also want to underscore that our Latino students improved by 2.44% over the last year. Our African American students increased by 2.04%, reflecting steady progress across those student groups that we are so conscious of closing those gaps of opportunity. I don't know if you're aware, when it comes time to be at CSBA's programs and we get a chance to talk about who our students are, we'd be remiss if we didn't recognize that we have an or socially disadvantaged rate of 76% of our students in Fresno County schools struggle with low opportunities. We're considered a 76% level of socioeconomically disadvantaged students. We ranked in the top 10 counties in the state of California for growth in that group of students as well. So when you look deeply at the numbers, again, 2 and 4, 3 and 4% don't always scream substantially impactful. When you realize that every one of those numbers represents the face of a kiddo who has more opportunities than they had when they walked in our doors. It's really, really, really moving. I want to also point out to you that we were very surprised. In our Fresno County schools, you probably remember how this works. Our local school districts get their test scores, then they're kind of embargoed for the balance of us. We don't know at the county what everybody's performance is and how we even did as a county until a few days before the state of California announces those results. So at 10 a.m., I think on Tuesday morning, on October 13th, on October 9th, the state of California released the state's performance scores, and they did something that they've never done in the last 9 years, and that is they captured the developing students in level 2. So what we communicated for 4 weeks to our communities, in the case of our students in Fresno County, 46% on grade level, and that again, that is advanced or proficient, which we've done for the last 9 years. The state, CDE, and the governor acknowledged level 2 in developing students and captured. So our numbers looked really off there were a number of us that were like, wait, what just happened? And so we had to go back out to explain to our public. Surprisingly, there wasn't much confusion out there. People are still following what we've done for 9 years in the last few years, and that is recognize meeting grade level as level 4 advanced or level 3 proficient. But we did go out second time, if you will, with a second press release to explain that confusion that might be in the minds and hearts of some parents. For example, if you heard 46% on grade level and then the state's average said that they were 79% on grade level, you'd be a little concerned. So we wanted to go out and make sure that the public knew. And so our public statement was, for many years, the target on the Spartan Balanced Assessment has been defined as the percentage of students scoring at levels 3 or 4. However, on its October 9th press release, the California Department of Education expanded its definition of meeting grade level expectations to also include students scoring at level 2. As a result, some state-reported data may appear higher than in previous years. To ensure consistency and provide a clear and accurate picture of student progress over time, our office, along with most school districts, continues to report results based on the traditional measure of proficiency, focusing on that percentage of students scoring at levels 3 and 4. As board members, I wanted you to be well aware of the fact that as I move forward on Tuesday night at the Trustees Association, I'm going to be referring to students meeting grade level as students that are proficient level 3 or advanced level 4. I'm happy to recount any of this if anyone has any confusion, and I'll trust you, Marcy, if you think that this exact statement might need to be shared at the board meeting. We can talk a little bit after that. I'll also tell you that we in the state here in Fresno County had one of our school districts singled out by the state. Sanger Unified there are 940 school districts in the state of California, and CDE and the governor chose to highlight 5 of them. Sanger was one of those 5, and so again, we were surprised by that, but delighted to see that our local efforts are so extraordinary that they were shouted out at the state. We chose, when we sent out our second press release, to highlight some of our more local success stories, and each and every one of these 6 that I'm mentioning here, because they deserve to be mentioned, are statistically significant. So again, we wanted to reiterate Sanger's outstanding success, Clovis Unified's longstanding tradition of academic excellence. Central Unified made some remarkable strides in early literacy, particularly in that 3rd grade reading level. Orange Center School District is one of our single school districts with a very impressive dual immersion program, and their ELA scores increased by 4.4%. That's significant to this county because, once again, we have EL students that have tremendous potential for success, provided we help them exit their EL status and then have access to all those opportunities academically. they're remarkable when we give them those opportunities to access. Further, Carruthers Unified had nearly a full percentage point higher than the county overall, showing an impressive 4% gain over last year's results, with 47% of their students meeting or exceeding standards. Again, when you think about the profile and the number of barriers that some of our students in our small rural schools and levels of poverty, lack of housing, things like that, very substantially impressive outcomes for Carruthers Unified. And then Kings Canyon Unified School District was one of our strongest performers this year as well, with 56% of their students meeting or exceeding ELA, and with a remarkable 4.7% increase over last year, and 42% in proficient in math. And because we really want to be respectful of our charter schools, again, this county serves 31 school districts and 30 charter schools. We wanted to highlight a few of our charter schools as well. We would be remiss if we didn't point out that we have one of the highest performing high schools in the entire state of California in University High School. They had 97% of their students meeting or exceeding standards in ELA and 76% of their students in math. Again, those numbers are remarkable, and I think we often take for granted that we have this exceptional jewel working in Fresno County. And then Kepler, who will be here next month, had some very strong academic gains this year, with ELA scores climbing 3.5%, and just showing a commitment to growth. If I could end on any number of comments, it would be that even as we looked really deeply at all the data, we saw that students are growing. So back to that number 2 level student, that developing student, we have really large numbers of kids that are in that arena, which means that optimistically we should be we should expect greater growth this time next year as well, because of the number of kiddos that are in that number 2 developing category. I know that was a lot of detail. I know that was a lot of numbers, but if we're not improving student outcomes academically and in terms of this level of achievement, we're missing the mark. So I'm here to tell you, I want you to feel that I'm being very accountable in that particular arena. I'm really proud of Fresno County's performance, and you should be too. So with that, I'm happy.
I hope
to
that was a
questions.
rehearsal for next Tuesday.
You like that kind of report, huh?
I do.
Okay.
And I think that our other board members in the county need to hear that kind of stuff, including the charter school information, because I believe a lot of board members out there are like, keep the charters away from us, we don't, and may feel them as a threat. And when they are succeeding like that, good work is happening, but when our local districts are also succeeding in the same manner, then, what is it? All ships rise. What's the metaphor? When the water rises, all ships rise, something like that. Anyhow,
I'm happy to repeat it.
Well, the local districts succeed, then by definition we will. Yeah, and but like I've said before, is that the school district is no different than any business. We're not in it to make money, but we are in it to have positive test scores. That's our profit. And as long as we keep showing a profit, we're heading in the right direction. And that's a good way to put it, I think, for parents and everybody to see is that we're running this thing like a business. And a business of educating kids and doing it right.
Are we also reporting on any of the other indicators? The
dashboard will.
The
actual dashboard, and that's part of our presentation. Right. Okay. Because holistically,
it's not just about the test scores, which is the bread and butter, but it's also how many kids are prepared for college, how many kids are prepared for jobs, what's our graduation rate.
Yes, there's lots of ways to look at success, and we will
expulsion rates.
We're intending to do that. I might just end on, 2 things. First of all, to circle back to test scores. This is not an anomaly. We have so much synergy. We have superintendents that are attending our monthly meetings and looking to each other for those academic dialogue. There is so much good work taking place, and we are all in this recognizing that what's working in one corner of the county can very likely work elsewhere. And so our role at the county county is simply to scale best practice. And I'm here to tell you that people are, checking egos and what looks there's no competition. They're all our kids. And so I'm really proud of the superintendent's work, and that we're using the time together to really elevate good teaching and learning. And I couldn't be more proud of being a part of that. The last thing I'll just
one question of clarification. So when you're talking about the tier 2 level student, that category is large, you're really saying the tier 1 is smaller?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And I don't know that I'd use the wording tier. There's a whole other vernacular.
I'm sorry, maybe it's not tier.
Tier 1 is universal. Everybody starts at tier 1. Tier 2 is when there's some support, and tier 3 is the highest level of supports.
So you're
talking MTSS. I'm talking about test.
Yes, test.
What's the wrong
levels?
Lord, it's not tier levels. Yes. Okay, sorry.
I think that
should be shared.
The definition, because I'm sitting here like,
I know, it's a lot.
Bigger, and that's good.
I see what you mean.
Bigger because 1 is smaller.
Yes.
And kids are moving up. So I might just have been thick, sorry.
You're not.
The parents have to look at that.
Right.
And the general public who wants to hold us accountable for their taxpayer dollar. Anyways, good news.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good news. Last, I'll just mention that you may receive an invitation to be aware of this. I'll just, I think it's in your, I don't know, did we get this in? Okay, great. Then you should be really proud of our little nonprofit, again, run by 2 people on the side of their desk. We have to date raised $27 million, and we started an endowment many years ago. We have a small gap between the current level of money in there, for lack of a financial term, to reach our $1 million goal. And so we have invited the public to be involved. We have 2 people that have already made some commitments. And again, it's a relatively small gap. It won't surprise you to know that this a level of awareness building that Mary Ellen and our board president, our foundation board president, Debbie Jacobson, are taking on is designed to be kind of a precursor. When we close this gap to 1 million, we'll reestablish a new gap at 5 million. And after, or during that, we'll say, hey, anybody want to help us? Do we have a philanthropic friend who wants to help us with an endowment for Scout Island or SeaTech High School or C2C or, anything that we value that we want to see go on far into the future and that is protected financially will be the kind of thing that we are bringing forward as an opportunity for investment to the public. So just wanted you to know that we have a race to 1 million. We're telling the community all about it, and just wanted you to be well informed.
Well, and the COE event, the
gala?
The gala was.
Yes. Thank you.
I couldn't believe how many people were there.
We had almost 80.
Crowded.
Yes. It was.
Which is a good thing. I'm assuming that they were all paid for.
Yes.
Yeah, there were any food.
I'm looking at this History Day. I know the History Day lost its funding nationally with the new administration, but it's still.
Sorry, I don't even know anything about
That's what I heard in the news.
It had, but we had it covered.
Reinstated?
Oh, I don't know if it's been reinstated.
So if we're doing History Day locally, we're not sure that the kids are going to go on to Seder National.
Correct. But we cover the last final family, but you mean per district? We don't know how far they'll go, or they will continue to follow their protocols to ship off the kids to us, their higher, contenders. Yeah. So I think they're gathering applications now, so we will find out soon. I know Clovis Unified is still proceeding with it. Some of our larger districts are still continuing.
Over the years, I've talked off and on with different people who own private schools and all throughout the state, mainly because of my mountain thing, and they come up. And the single biggest fundraising thing that they have is estate gifts. The biggest numbers. And he says, that's where the action's at. So whenever you talk to anybody you know, get them to rewrite their will. That's where the big money's at. That's what they told me.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay, enough of that. Well, never enough of that. But, future agenda items, anything? Next meeting will be on November 20th at 1:30 here. And Cheryl, will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion adjourned. I'll second.
Move second, roll call, please.
President Clyde?
Yes.
Vice President Masumoto?
Yes.
Member Robles?
Yes.
Meeting adjourned.